Hey guys, it is Abby. Welcome to another episode of Road Tripping with Abby. Today we are at one of our city's metro parks, another part of the metro park that has a little lake. Obviously, you can see that behind me. People can do kayaking and boating and jet skis and fishing in there. What else? Yeah, I've seen people do all kinds of stuff in there. But anyway, so hope you enjoy the scenery today. Today I bring you Abby's story, part 3. One of our subscribers had started writing a story, a fictional story, including yours truly, and she wrote 2 chapters, and I've had a interesting response. Some people asking for more, so I let her know that, and she has sent in another chapter for you all to enjoy. Got my pina colada. It's muggy out here today, but I will not complain because it's summertime and I love summertime. All right, so part 3 of Abby's story. She wrote in, Abby, I hope things are well with you. I'm looking forward to your 5K cigar video. And I now have only 1 bowl, but he is more than enough. And here is part 3 for your enjoyment. Abby trains a husband. It says this would be his 3rd visit and hopefully his last. His future wife, Belinda, had reduced his nightly application of her authority to once each second night. Abby turned down the AC in just her training room from 74 to 64 degrees Fahrenheit, that is. Abby slowly dressed in her new full leather black catsuit. She had many latex suits, but this is her first all-leather catsuit. She enjoyed the sound of each zipper, the leather smell of the new suit, the feel of the smooth, soft leather in her hands and on her skin. She much preferred the smell of leather to the smell of latex. It was a good idea to link her Amazon wish list to her YouTube page. Thanks for the idea. If generous men wanted to buy her nice things, what was wrong with that? The leather catsuit would be hot. That was one reason she turned down the AC. Not as hot as her latex suits, but hot enough. She would forego the hood and gloves for today's session. Abby finished dressing in the catsuit and waited for him to arrive. I almost said survive there. He'll be lucky to survive. Aha. Sorry. Anyway, I digress. She fondled her leather bullwhip she had gotten on a business/pleasure trip to Mexico a few years ago. It was a reminder of a very generous male friend. The whip was mostly red leather with black laces. It was a manageable 8 foot. but that was long enough. It was a manageable 8 foot, which was long enough for today's session. Abby finished dressing in the catsuit and waited for him to arrive. I already read this. My bad. It was 8 foot in length. She had longer, but they were not really practical for indoor use. She would not use the whip on this man, but it did complete her outfit. Abby smoked an all-white Virginia Slim 120. It contrasted well with her black catsuit. Abby dangled her cigarette while she used both hands to open a letter. She took the letter from her side table and opened it with her silver letter opener. Inside was a new key for the man's new cage he would be wearing today. Also inside was a wedding invitation. Abby did not have time to read it. She had just crushed out the fully enjoyed 120 when he knocked. She said, "Enter." The room was thick with smoke from her cigarette. Abby looked at the clock. On time, she thought. Very good. "Enter, close, and lock the door," she said. "Today we are going to see how your training has progressed. Remove your pants, underwear, and your shirt." The new chastity device looked very small. Abby could now see the garter and hose his future wife now made him wear. "You will keep the garter and hose on," Abby said. Abby could see his legs were hairless, just as well if you're going to wear hose, she thought. His chest hair was all gone. "Step closer," Abby said. She took the key from the envelope and unlocked his device. "Remove your device," she said, "and place it by my ashtray." He quickly did and placed it on the side table where her ashtray was, where the single crushed cigarette lay. In the past, he would have looked at the cigarette butt with her lipstick stain and lusted for it, even wanting to eat it. He averted his eyes from the ashtray. Abby noticed he had goosebumps on his flesh. The AC was having its effect, she thought. "Now get across my leather knee. I'm going to give you 20 of my best with my open hand, and then 20 with this hairbrush." The 6-strap garter looked very nice holding up his stockings as he lay across her. When he was fully across her knees, she lit a fresh VS 120. He could only hear the lighter spark up and her inhale. It was dark. Alright, bear with me as I get... Okay, it was dark enough in the room, but he would be able to see the lipstick stain on the white cigarette filter. She held the 120 in her left hand as she is right-handed and would need that for her strongest hand to apply his test. Her left hand was holding her cigarette a few inches from his face. "Today you will be allowed to speak in my house. You will count each time I apply my authority to you. Say the number and then say, 'Thank you, Abby,' nothing more." Abby had gentlemen that were allowed to call her Goddess Abby or Lady Abby. He was not and never would be one of them. "If you miscount, we start over. Just nod your head if you understand. If you make any other noises, I will put the ball gag in your mouth." "Good. Let's begin then." The sound of her bare hand on him was very loud in the small room. 1, thank you, Abby. Then 2, thank you, Abby. At 5, 10, and 15, Abby stopped to take a very slow drag on her cigarette. She exhaled on the top of his head. Abby's hand did not linger or rub him softly between strokes like she did with her lovers. There was no kindness to this, only cruel, heartless business. At 20, Abby said, "Done. Now the hairbrush. Start over at 1. The hairbrush stung much worse than Abby's open hand. "You don't dare wiggle and rub yourself on my leather," Abby sternly said, even though she wanted him to. After he had taken all 20 from the hairbrush, Abby said, "Stand, then stand up straight." Abby often would have applied a skin cream to the men she would entertain or train with this method, but not this man. He was not worthy of any kindness. "Keep your hands by your side." Abby could see that he had no reaction at all to the spanking, her leather, or the cigarette she was seductively smoking. Abby crushed out her VS 120. Very good, she thought to herself. She would never say anything positive to him. It would just encourage him. She found over the years to never reward a man, only reprimand and punish for bad behavior. "Put your cage on, and then come closer." This new cage used a Prince Albert piercing, and he had some trouble putting on the device. Abby took her key and locked him into the device. She put her key on the side table. This key would be tagged and placed in the box with all the other keys Abby had collected over the years. "Put your pants on," Abby said, "and be careful you don't put a run in your pretty stockings. Now get out." She would, of course, report his progress to his future wife, Belinda, and send her the video. The man went to the door. It would not open. He was too nervous to remember that he had locked the door. Sorry, guys, I have a bug flying at me. It took him a moment to unlock and leave. Abby felt that his training was over. He would only be sent back to her if he had a relapse. Abby wrote in her logbook the man's progress. She just now realized she did not know his name, first or last. Never mind. She would look on the invite to their wedding and see it. Abby read the invitation. Interesting, but not really surprising. He was taking her last name. She would have a great satisfaction watching the wedding and hearing their vows, knowing she was responsible for the happy couple. Especially the honor and obey part. Abby looked at her schedule. Her next was a man that had an ABDF, that's an adult baby diaper fetish, one of the hardest to break. Abby would look in her logbook for what worked in the last 3 men she had cured with this disgusting and degrading problem. She remembered that when she got done with the last one, he could not even walk down the baby aisle in the grocery store. The end of this chapter. Well, I love it. Thank you so much. Again, for taking the time to share your writing and creative talents with us. Everybody out there, I hope you enjoyed the continuation in my story, my fictional story. And that is all I have for you guys today. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. If you are not, don't forget to like and share. Leave me your comments, and we will see you guys real soon. Bye, everyone.